This week, not much has changed with the living situation. I'm still living with my parents. If you watched the last vlog, I found out that there was mold in my last apartment, and so we had to move out of that because we did not want to deal with them ripping out things in our kitchen, in our bathrooms, because that's kind of the reason why you have your own place, is to use your own appliances in your own rooms. And if you can't do that, then I just didn't feel like it was going to be a place of living. It sounded like it was going to be a long process, especially because they were going to get professionals to come in, and they were willing to give us back all our money if we decided to move out and get out of our contract. That's what we did. We decided that we're going to be renting a place, a home. So it's a major upgrade very quickly. We will not be moving in until about the end of this week or maybe next week. It kind of depends on a couple of different moving parts. But for right now, we're still living with my parents. Feels like a whole jumbled mess. Right in front of me is a whole bunch of desk equipment and extra chairs. You can just tell that that couch and that couch don't match. Also this week, I have been dealing with perioral dermatitis. Have little bumps around your lip area. I've never had this issue, but my mom and my sister have. I also have a cold sore. That's what that is. I think all of this might have been like a flare-up of stress. A lot of changes happened really recently. To help with perioral dermatitis, I decided that I was going to do a little diet change just for 2 weeks, see if that would help, if it was more of an anti-inflammatory diet. And this is usually just how I eat. I really like to eat whole foods, vegetables, meat, but ever since the holidays, I have been eating a lot more sugar. I've been eating a lot more dairy, more gluten. My mom has celiac disease, and when I was a baby, I was lactose intolerant. Still do have a sensitivity to it, and I really notice it in my skin. Like, I will break out. I luckily have not had to do any like major medications for my skin, and that's usually how I want to live, is like not taking any medication when I don't have to, especially if I can just change a couple things. I've been eating more of a paleo diet the past week. I made a lot of videos of foods that I was making, dairy-free, gluten-free, refined sugar-free. They were such healthy, good meals. I've been eating a lot of fruit as dessert and snack, and the reason why I do this for 2 weeks is because it gives your body enough time to really process it. And like I said, my perioral dermatitis that I've been trying to get rid of finally gone. And not only that, I just wanted to get back in the habit of making more dairy-free meals because I feel way less bloated. I wanted to get in the habit of eating that as my desserts and my treats and my snacks. This has been such a really good restart. Now, more of the end of the week, that's when I tend to pull up my camera a lot more. I have been using mouth tape, which, if you don't know what mouth tape is, it's just tape that you put over your mouth. It helps you nasal breathe at night, and I've been told that it's been a big TikTok trend. Don't really scroll on TikTok. I haven't really seen that. I've just heard on podcasts that it's really beneficial to breathe through your nose, and I've known that for a couple years, so I've been working on it during the day, trying to breathe through my nose mostly. At night, I found it's kind of hard to do that, but the research about nasal breathing at night, there hasn't been good, thorough research on it with a large population, so they don't know much about it. There has been some studies on it, but it's inconclusive right now. But I do like to do little experiments with myself to kind of see if things work for my body, even if the research isn't conclusive right now. Like, it doesn't hurt to try something on myself. I've noticed the nasal breathing during the day has helped me feel a lot better, and that research is pretty solid. 2 months ago, I started the mouth taping process. I just got like paper tape, like the kind that you put on like your feet, or it's almost like a bandage kind of thing. It's very like breathable, and so I figured I could use like 2 strips, put it across my mouth if I could not breathe through my nose. I wouldn't suffocate because I could technically breathe through the tape, and I was using that for a while, but it made like a sticky residue around my face, and I did not like it. I did go to Amazon. I found like a $9 packet for 1 month's supply. I thought that was a little bit overpriced, but I bought it and it works great. And then we bought some KT tape, like knockoff from Amazon. That way, when I run out of the month's supply, maybe I could try the KT tape version and just cut out my own pieces because it was cheaper and it was like a really long strip. So I'll be trying that. I actually really like the mouth taping. Initially, when I did it, my body battery, because I wear a Garmin watch, it just calculates how much energy you have. It's not 100% accurate, but most of the time, like when it says your body battery 0 through 100, 100 meaning like you're fully charged, you're fully functioning, you're feeling good. 0 means like you're dead, basically, because I've only ever seen it really go down to 5 before. And when it's at a 5, I feel like it's a 5. I'm very exhausted those days. Usually it doesn't go past like a 15, but sometimes it does, and I'm very tired those days. And I've noticed that my body battery like charges up so fast during the night and going up to a 100, which is not normal for me. I really liked that at the beginning, and when I got the kind from Amazon, I usually have a really dry throat and have to drink water during the night, and with this mouth taping, I haven't had to do that because my mouth isn't open and it isn't getting dried at night. So that's been my experience with mouth taping. I think it's worth a try, especially if you get one that's like breathable. That way you don't feel you're suffocating, you can take it off easily. But I think it's worth giving a try, but everyone's different. Everyone can have different experiences. After that, we went swimming in my parents' backyard because we usually go to a swimming pool where they have lane lines and you can swim 25 meters to normal indoor swimming pool. I really like swimming laps. I've done it since I was a kid. I think it's really nice on the joints. It feels really good. It's refreshing. It wakes me up. But they didn't have any times until 8 a.m., which is really late for me to work out and really late for my husband to work out because he starts work around 8:30 every morning. Realize that my parents have been heating the pool. The temperature in there has been around 90 degrees, which feels so good. It's probably too hot for some people, but in the morning when the temperatures are a little bit lower, it just feels good. So we got ready. We swam. I swam a full hour. Chad, my husband, didn't have enough time to do that because he started work. He swam just 30 minutes with me. It's a really good exercise. I feel like it's something you can do all your life. You just feel good. We made pancakes afterward. I think I technically need these for lunch. I put collagen powder in them. I've been trying to put collagen powder in more things. I think protein is really important to get, but I obviously listen to my body. Like sometimes I eat the really big taco bowl that I showed. I ate that whole entire thing. Sometimes I am so hungry and I get plenty of protein. Like I'm fine. And the next day, I won't eat quite as much because I feel so full. Sometimes I'm really hungry 2 days in a row. It just depends. But that day I felt hungry for protein and I didn't really have much of it within other things that I was eating. So I was like, I feel like pancakes, maybe I can put in the pancake mix. And this was a paleo pancake mix. It was made out of cassava flour. It didn't make it taste any different. There were blueberries in this one. Some of the things I flipped, some of them was really hard. I was trying to figure it out because it's different than like Kodiak waffles, which are made with gluten. Like they're just easy to make. They stick together. These were gluten free, so they were not sticking together. And I just used maple syrup in it because maple syrup's a more natural kind of sugar. After that, we had for dinner sweet potatoes, beef, and avocado bowl. So good. We saw it on an Instagram story and we recreated it. We've been making it for the past year. It is so good and it is so easy. It has your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. Well, and we made a TikTok video out of it. I've been trying to, even though I don't scroll on TikTok, I still have been trying to find different avenues to be more creative in my life, and that is one of the ways. And I feel so uncomfortable talking to the camera. Like I feel so uncomfortable right now. I'm trying to get more familiar with this feeling, but it is kind of uncomfortable. And if I can just show myself just making a meal or anything like that, it is so much easier for me to do. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that. Another TikTok video that we made, because the dogs are such a big part of our life, my mom was like, oh, here's like an idea that I have, so I'll kind of just show one that I made for that. And I was really shocked that it had over 12,000 views, which I don't know if that's a lot. I have heard things blow up on there, so I don't know what a lot is, considering that was like my 4th or 5th video that I've ever made. I feel like that's pretty good. I don't know much about it though. Nothing else that I've posted has done that well.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot to have 2 dogs. Because you gotta open the back door and let 2 dogs out. then you shut it. And now they're out there, you're inside, not dealing with it. But then they want to come back in, and you're like, gotta go let all these dogs back in. You're like, one dog, two, look at all these dogs everywhere.
It's been a lot of fun, like just creating. I maybe am not the best at it. I've said that so many times and I feel really awkward, but it's just been fun. It's been fun to like edit things, put things together. I just have had so much fun with that. And then Saturday, we went for a long run. We went for a 10-mile run. We're training for a marathon right now. We did do a ultra marathon 6 months ago, maybe only 5 months ago. It was 50 miles, or it was 52 miles according to our watches. Marathons then are not that scary to us, and the whole training process, we're not very serious about it because we know how to run a marathon. We know that distance, we know how much to train. So 10 miles was quite a big jump. We went from 6 miles to 8 miles to 10 miles from almost nothing, and it's felt like a good build-up. I have been running for over 10 years, but I would not call myself an expert because I do not know all of the literature on it, but I do know myself and my body, and I do know that I can just jump up like that and it is fine. Like, that's a really good basis for me, is around 6 miles. We only have a couple more weeks until that marathon. We're very excited about it, and it was very hot. We put on sunscreen because the UV rays are really high.
Maybe we'll get smoky. Just kidding.
Just eating a little bit of leftover pancakes, some maple syrup for breakfast. Today we have a 10-mile run, which is not too bad, but we're going to be doing it all uphill for the first 5 miles and then all the way downhill for the last 5 miles. The first part of runs is usually the hardest part for me. I don't know, I'm just not warmed up. I'm not feeling good yet. When I start off a run with going uphill, it's just that much harder. But on the way down, I just feel amazing, and usually I leave it on a good note thinking this was the best run ever, even though the first couple miles I was dying the whole time. This will be a difficult run, but I think at the end I'll be so glad that we chose to do it. And the dogs, because we're not going to take them on this long of a run, plus it's really hot today, I think that we will swim afterwards in the pool and let them play because they have a lot of energy. Also, the UV index is really high today, so that is why we put on sunscreen. Over the past year, I have just found sunscreen to be so important, and hat and sunglasses. I heard on a interview of someone who, she was in her 60s, I think, and she's been running since she was in her 20s, and someone had told her when she was young to wear lots of sunscreen, wear a hat, lots of protection and everything from the sun, and she said that she followed that and her skin looks amazing. And so I make sure that like when it's hot, I don't want to wear a long sleeve. Sometimes I wear one of those, like almost like what you wear when you go fishing. Sometimes it's just too hot for that. I just wear a lot of sunscreen, and I haven't gotten sunburn in over a year at all, which even on my face, like I'm always put sunscreen on. got done with the run. We jumped in the pool with the dogs. This clip that I'll be showing is of Ranger, the bigger, older dog. He loves swimming. He's loved swimming ever since he was a little puppy. In this video, it's so hard to get him to jump in and swim, and I was like, why is he doing that? Like, he was just being funny. I don't know. So I couldn't get a video of him swimming around, but literally after I put away my phone and I got in the pool, he just kept swimming around, and then he'd get to the other side of the pool, and then he'd swim again to the other side. He just stayed in the water. He wouldn't get out. Towards the end, we were like, he needs to dry off. He needs to stay out of the pool. So we were actually trying to make sure he wouldn't stay in the pool, of course. But when my camera's out, he does not want to be in the pool. That is kind of how that week has ended. I've also started reading those books that I got from the thrift store. They are so interesting. They're really applying to the research that I am doing, because part of that is the mindful self-care. There's a lot of different components of mindful self-care. One of the components is paying attention to smells around you that smell good and images that are pleasing to the eye. And so that could be like flowers or ladybugs, like little things like that. And one of the books that I'm reading, it is talking about how that is really important for us, which is kind of interesting because I am working on body image as my research for the summer. I'm specifically looking at body functionality, so paying attention to your body and what it is capable of doing rather than its appearance. And yeah, I am reading all this stuff about and all talking about how aesthetics outside of yourself though are really important, and how you could paint a wall in your kitchen, and if it makes you really happy, every time you walk into that room, it's going to change your mood. So I'm reading this book. It's very interesting. The lady is a designer by trade, and that's what she's done. And she's just talking about all the psychology behind how aesthetics outside of herself are very important and we should pay attention to them. She mentions how in Albania, in the capital city there, it was kind of corrupted in 2000, but then the mayor, he started painting some of the buildings there bright orange, and then other buildings started getting painted, painting them very colorfully. By 2004, that whole city kind of just changed around and became a lot more happier. There was less crimes, people were paying their taxes, and just like so crazy how color can even change a society. That has been very interesting. The other book that I was looking at is more about how a world is so obsessed with happiness and how we should be more focused on meaning and purpose behind our lives, because happiness is only a temporary kind of feeling, and meaning behind it is going to give us so much more joy, and that's what we're actually searching after. So kind of the science behind that, and that is kind of going along the lines of purpose and meaning. That is part of one of the measures that my research is looking at with the mindful self-care again. So it's like kind of all coming together. It's all kind of relating to the body and the mind, and I'm very excited about that. And so I will be writing. That's what I will be doing the next couple days. Writing more of that, reading more, trying to make it all apply. My brain works very messy. I just like all these things like together, and I read something over here and then I read something over there, and then I try to make it connect, and then I have all these references. But this next week should be very exciting because we will be moving the dogs, of course, so probably do something really cute. So that is something to look forward to too.